Do you believe in second chances?
Do you believe that love seeks after you, or that love finds you?
That it pursues your soul, even when you don't think you deserve it?
Even when you feel like your moment's already passed?
You think it still looks for you when you're so broken?
That you have nothing left to offer in return?
Do you believe even then that it still chases after you?
Do you believe love is more than a feeling?
Do you believe that love is redeeming? I do.
I do.
There's probably gonna be a lot of crying at this one. You guys know that we are in a unique situation. We have two people that love the Lord who didn't have the most perfect scenarios in the past. But these two broken people found one another. And here they stand with redemption as their motto.
I was in a very broken marriage with a lot of dishonesty, and when I had my son, everything came out in the open, all of the lies. I experienced so much sorrow through those months, and that began a very dark place in my life. Dark, but the Lord was very near. The Lord just pulled me in that brokenness. He kept reminding me of the promises that He had for my life, and one of them being a faithful husband.
For the longest time, the two things that I have valued the most is marriage and ministry. And I found myself getting into a relationship where I think I started taking the desire for marriage into my own hands. And I didn't really trust in God's timing on that part. I got into a relationship and with this woman, and we met. We dated, we got engaged, we got married, we divorced all within 10 months. And it was the darkest 10 months I have ever lived in my life. Everything that I had in ministry just like go crashing down. And at that point, I got to the belief that I blew it. I blew it with both of those desires, both of those values. And I was convinced that it wasn't going to happen for me again. And I was pretty much telling God I'd totally understand if I never get these things back. I spent the next couple years after that really going through a very intense healing process. And it was the loneliest 2 years of my life, but it was the most rewarding 2 years of my life because God really did so much. Like, I've never heard God so clearly. Over time, my heart started opening up a little bit to the idea of marriage again. I started going to the online dating route. I've tried it a couple times before in the past and was very hesitant about doing it again.
My mom signed me up. She paid for my subscription.
So I went on there, met a couple people, went on a date. It was awful.
There were a lot of stinkers.
And I remember the day that I actually went to open the app to delete it. As soon as I opened the app, the very first profile picture that came up was with this beautiful woman, big smile, very genuine smile. I clicked on her profile and
we started talking. We connected over the Enneagram. So we talked about the Enneagram for a little bit, and then
We exchanged numbers that night.
I thought he was doing this as a pickup line. He was like, Christian Mingle app's not working, so could you send me your number? Like, this is like... I just felt like I could trust him, and so I sent him my number, and we actually shared our testimonies over the phone.
And we were very open and vulnerable to each other. And that was something that spoke volumes to me, is that instantly, like, it was like my soul knew her soul. I remember laying in bed one night. At the time I was living with my mom and bonus dad. And so in this spare bedroom, they had a little willow tree. My mom loves these willow tree statues, these carvings. It was a willow tree of a man and a woman embracing each other. And it was just a symbolism of true love that lasts. And I remember looking at it, and I just couldn't stop looking at it. And I ended up taking a picture of it. And all of a sudden, when I set my phone down and turned the light off, I rolled over to go to sleep. But for the first time in a long time, I started praying for my wife. And I simply said, God, wherever my wife is, whatever she's going through, just be with her and prepare her heart for me as you're preparing my heart for her.
He actually sent it to me probably a month or so into dating, and told me the story. I had saved it from the text message and was scrolling through to find it. You know how iPhones save it to the times when it happened, and I actually found it in the very place where all of my brokenness had begun. And so that was just one of the most beautiful parts, like the Lord knew from before we even knew each other, that he was going to connect us, and that he was praying for me. That did something to us, like, okay, the Lord is in this.
So here we are in the midst of a miracle. This is a moment of redemption in 100 ways. Because this time, you're handing her over to hands that know pain. You're handing her over to hands that will not be willing to let go for anything. They're hands that will fight. They're hands that will protect. And these are hands that will honor. So Heavenly Father, I say thank you. Thank you for new beginnings. Thank you for redemption and a second chance. And that this marking moment will be one that for the rest of our lives, and especially for Cody and Ashley, it'll be the beginning of something new.
She was holding on so tight, but why did we still have to say goodbye? She's all alone tonight. There's nothing I could do to make it right. Is it ever gonna be brighter? Is it ever gonna be easier? Hold her tonight. Oh God, would you hold her tonight? 'Cause I'm not there to stay close, keep watch, tell her she's not alone. Hold her tonight. Steady on, my love. Steady on, my love. Steady on, my love. Steady on, my love.
Ashley, I was hopeless. I was mentally and emotionally exhausted. I didn't think I had it in me to endure one more date. I was truly at the point of being done. That was until I caught a glimpse of the biggest, brightest, most genuine smile I have ever seen. So much joy radiated off of you. So many things would begin to happen over time that made this relationship undeniable, that with a majestic smile and a holy head nod, God's hand was in this. After time passed, without ever being able to feel each other's touch, we became connected heart and soul. The day came when we met face to face. When I got to wrap my arms around you, every part of my being was convinced that this is the woman not only I choose, but the choice that would make God stand up from his throne, clap his hands, and shout a resounding yes. I'm convinced more and more each day that my heart, my body, my mind, my soul, my spirit, it's all safe with you. You have brought so much light and joy and genuine happiness to my life. You truly are an amazing woman, Ashley Megan. I promise to never stop seeing you as a precious diamond that God has entrusted in my hands to take care of. Therefore, I will make it a priority to make sure you are protected, held close, cherished, loved, and well cared for. I promise you that you will have all my love, all my affection, my desire, and my devotion. I will always have eyes for you. I promise you that I will not put others before you. I will defend you and stand by you no matter what may come or what may cost. I promise to never stop being your friend. When you need a shoulder to cry on, an ear to listen to, or a voice to speak life, when you need arms to wrap around you to comfort you, I will be there. I promise that I will make my walk with the Lord my ultimate priority. I promise that I will never stop praying for our relationship to be a continuous reflection of God's heart for humanity, to us and to those around us. I can't guarantee that I will be able to do all of this perfectly, but I can promise you that by God's continuous work in me, I will never stop trying. And last but certainly not least, I promise to love you always.
Cody is not just marrying Ashley. He's also taking on a son.
Daxton, I want you to know that you inspire me. The joy and the laughter that you bring to people's lives is truly incredible. I'm so glad that I get to be in your life. When I've been able to be around you, I can't even begin to explain what it does to my heart when you call my name and run in my direction. During these handful of times, I've watched you as you tried sliding off a bed and look at me for help because you haven't felt your feet hit the ground. But I would tell you, you can do it. You're almost there. I know you couldn't see it, but I could see you were closer than you thought. And my most favorite moments so far are the times you've reached up for me to pick you up. The times you've sat on my lap and rested your head on my chest. The times I've heard you tell me you love me. These memories show me how God is with me as his son. How many times he saw that my feet were closer to the ground than I thought. The times I would reach up to him to be picked up, to rest my head on his chest. What it must do to God's heart to hear me say I love him. I may not have helped bring you into this world, but I promise you that you will be loved as if I did. Though actions speak louder than words, these are my promises to you. I promise you that you will have a safe place in our home. I promise that love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control will be the pillars of our family. I promise to lead you with wisdom, grace, guidance, and direction that comes from the Lord. I promise that I will show you how to treat a woman by the way that I learned to love your mother daily the way that she deserves to be loved. I promise to join your mom in constant prayer over you. And even though I have a lot to learn, I promise that I will never stop trying to be the best father figure I can that your life deserves. I love you, Daxie.
Cody Michael, you are my miracle. I remember the day I started to pray for a love like yours. I had done a pretty good job of convincing myself that I'd never love or trust again. But the gentle urging of the Lord prompted me to pray for a future husband. So I did, a little reluctantly, I'll admit. Even still, the Lord breathed life into my hope for a true and faithful husband. It wasn't long after that God answered my yes with you. I remember how hesitant I was with you, how terrified I was to open up. It was your steady patience and tender love that broke every wall of fear and distrust in my heart. The way you've loved and continue to love me has been a radiant picture of how Jesus loves us. It is the joy of my life to understand his love more because of this parallel, because of you. We've spent thousands of hours on FaceTime and phone calls, hundreds of pee your pants laughter, and fall on your knees tears. I am so thankful for our last chapter of love and longing, but I'm so extraordinarily excited to turn the page. My darling man, I stand before you and all of heaven, knowing my trust has been fully restored. Confident my love has been completely made new, and today I choose to give it all to you. I vow to pray for you. I vow to grow with you, to walk alongside of you, to hold you up when you are weak, and to kneel with you when you cannot stand. Cody, I love you completely for all that you are and all that you will become. I choose you always.
Dirt on the more beautiful side is called soil, and elements within it are needed for growth and for things to be planted. So as you guys plant this, you're taking soil from places that you had dirt, but you also were planted and grew. And so as you add this into your evergreen, which was chosen because it's always the same and never changes, like your love, but it will grow. So will that plant, and so will your love.
Sometimes I need someone to tell me that it's gonna be alright. I know you're that someone that helps me to put up a fight. I want you to tell me I'm clean and how you're building up our broken dreams. I don't have time for shame, I was made for more. I just gotta believe what you're saying about me. Holy Lord, I was made for more. I just gotta believe now. I don't have time for shame, I was made for more. I just gotta believe what you're saying about me. Holy Lord, I was made for more. I just gotta believe now. This isn't ordinary, the way you make me feel when I'm with you. Cause you're my sanctuary, the one who really loves me through and through.